Hey guys, today I'm going to be making a pie recommended to us, or the recipe was sent to us by Divin, and she watches it on YouTube. It is her grandmother's buttermilk pie, and her name is, it's Kaki, K-A-K-I, Kaki. Or that's her nickname name, I'm not sure. So it's a buttermilk pie. First thing I'm going to have to do is make a crust for it. It's the same recipe I've used for our Bakewell tarts. It's the exact same recipe that is not only a tart crust, but it's also a pie crust. So it works for both of them, and it's really, really good. So what you need for that, before I get into the pie recipe, the ingredients, let me go through the crust ingredients. And you could probably buy a crust if you wanted to, but it's just as easy. It's not too bad to make a homemade one. So you need 1.5 cups of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, and I've got my 1/2 teaspoon of sugar and my 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt all in this bowl. And you need a 1/2 cup or 1 stick of chilled unsalted butter, and they're cut into cubes. I just cut them into these little cubes, and they kind of stick together, but they're just cut into little cubes. And then you need a 1/4 cup of ice water. I just measure out my water and then put ice in it, and I'll pull the ice out when I'm ready to use it. So, okay, so what you do is you want to put your flour, sugar, and salt in a bowl, and you're supposed to whisk it together. I'm just going to use my fingers. And the biggest deal is you just want that sugar and salt kind of all mixed in. No, you don't have to be fancy with it. Just get it in there. Okay, let's see. Didn't even dirty up a whisk. So now take your butter, and this is the painful part. Break up your cubes first of all. Don't have them all hooked together because that won't help you at all. But get them all in there separated to where you're going to be able to squeeze them and squish them into the flour is what you're going to end up doing. So as painful as that was to watch, it was almost as bad to do. So what you need to do is you need to like squeeze, mash the butter, mash the flour into the butter. And what you're going to end up with, and I'm sure Tanner won't want to tape all this, but what you end up with is a crumble that kind of looks like coffee almost, the texture of ground coffee. So let me sit here and squeeze and get this all broken up in here. You can see how you get flattened out piece of butter. You just keep on going and you get that flour all incorporated, and you don't want any big hunks of butter. You want them to be all flattened out into little crumbles. So we'll be back when I get done. Okay, I got all the butter incorporated. You can see it's about the consistency of cornmeal or ground coffee. I can see ground coffee too. But and I've taken my ice out of my water, and I've also got a piece of plastic wrap over here on the counter, just sitting there ready for when I get done. So I make a little dip in the middle, and I just kind of work it in, and it's cold because it is ice water. I mean, really cold. But you want to work it into where it's all moist. And it makes a dough to where you can get it into a ball. And if it's too dry, if it's too dry, you can always add more water to it. I think this is going to be pretty good though, because this feels like it's clumping up pretty good. You can see it's holding together pretty good. I mean, I can squeeze that together and it's not falling apart. So it kind of reminds you now of Play-Doh. If you've ever played with Play-Doh, hopefully in your life you played with Play-Doh. That's the consistency of it right now. I'm gonna try to get my club fingers here in just a second too. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make this into a ball and then flatten it out into like a rounded disc. And it has to go in the refrigerator to chill the butter again for at least an hour. You can do this the night ahead if you wanted to. So you could have done this yesterday or last night and just have kept it until today, but it's okay. So tighten, really good tight ball, and just kind of flatten it out. And it doesn't have to be thin. It's just it's kind of flattened out in a square disc, because a round disc, because once it comes out of the refrigerator, you'll be able to take that disc now and roll it out into a pie shape, into a crust shape. So I'm gonna lay that in my plastic wrap and put my little pieces back on and get in the fridge for an hour, and I'll be back. And I'll also go over the other pie ingredients when I come back, because this will have to bake for a little while anyway, because I always blind bake mine. So, so I'll be back. All right, it's been in the fridge for an hour, so I've just got it out. I've got some flour here to dust it with. We're just gonna use one of these throwaway pie pans. I am not gonna blind bake this. I think I said I was gonna blind bake it. I'm not going to. The reason being is it depends on the recipe. This recipe didn't call for blind baking, so I'm not gonna blind bake it. We'll see if that's good or not. One thing you'll notice is I don't have a rolling pin. All I've got is this like plastic water bottle. Our rolling pin broke a while back. I was probably doing that Bakewell tart, and it broke, and we kind of said, hey, we need to get another rolling pin, and we just forgot. So we never have actually gotten another rolling pin. So, and I also have a fork here to take care of it once I get it rolled out. So I'm gonna take this out. The cats are acting crazy, sorry. Lightly floured surface. You see, I didn't flour it too thick. Okay. And you just really want the top surface lightly floured. And I'm going to flour this bottle a little bit. Not that it's sticking any. So I'm going to take it, and you're going to roll it out a little bit. And you got to kind of push on it a little bit. With a rolling pin, of course, you wouldn't have to do it too bad. And I'm going to flick flour everywhere. And you want to rotate it a half a turn and try to get your flour back in the middle. Or rotate it a quarter of a turn, I'm sorry. So you want to make sure this is bigger by about 2 inches than your pie pan, so that's good. The cracks and stuff, I'll take care of that in a second. So, since I don't have a rolling pin, I'm gonna have to deal with it a little bit differently. If you fold it into fourths, like that, lay it in your pan and put the point right in the center, like right in the middle, and just unfold it. It'll be pretty close to in the middle of that pan. And you wanna make sure it's completely on the bottom. And I'm not pushing really, I'm not like mashing, I'm just really just kind of flattening more than anything. And since I have a aluminum pan, I really got to be careful to push against the outside while I'm pushing on the inside as well. Like right here, I'm squeezing the pan and the dough. Okay. Looks like I need to patch up that one little spot and one little spot over here. So just get your fingers wet. Not with that much water. I'm just going to pull all the piece of dough over here. Just right on the edge of the pan. And you can use shears, but it's easier to just take a knife and just go around the outside. Just pick it up and give it a little crimp. This is going to go back in the refrigerator again for just another half hour, just to let it rest again, let the dough rest. I forgot to mention, you need to take your fork and just poke holes in the bottom. What that does is that keeps it from, if you don't poke holes in it, gas will build up, like moisture, or gas bubbles will build up in there, and it will, it'll make these big bubbles in the inside, and all your filling will go blah, all over the place. So poke holes in the bottom just to release some of that trapped air. Okay, while the pie crust is in the refrigerator cooling for the half hour, I'm ready to make the actual ingredients for the pie. So what we need is 2 cups of sugar, 3 tablespoons of flour, 1 stick of butter. I just microwave it to soften it, but it's supposed to be softened. 5 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a half a lemon, and it's going to be juiced. So I'm going to get the juice from a half a lemon, and 1 cup of buttermilk, and the buttermilk's added last. So I'm going to put that to the side. So what we do is preheat your oven to 350, so it's on, it's preheated. Basically put everything in the bowl except the buttermilk. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything except the lemon, and I'll show you how I'm going to juice that. You could probably use the pre-juiced lemon, you know, like the little bulbs. But it called for a lemon, so we went ahead and did lemon. So that, get my butter, where's my little spatula? You see it's not I put that in there, the microwave, for like 20 seconds, and it softens it up. I mean, it melts a little bit, but it also softens most of it, so it's fine. That's how I always soften butter. And I'm gonna leave this here so I can sit my thing in. Okay, and my eggs, I'm just gonna dump it all in there. And my vanilla. And I always recommend cracking eggs in a bowl separate from over here, because if you drop a shell in here, good luck getting it out. If you drop a shell in a bowl, you can get it out pretty easily, because trust me, I've broke a lot of eggs and I still get shells in there. How I'm gonna do this, I've seen it on TV doing it this way. I don't know how well it works, but you take it and kind of hold it over your hand, and you let the juice kind of run through your fingers, but then the seeds are in your hand. So that's how much juice. I'm just gonna squeeze the crap out of it. I think I let a seed go. I heard it hit. It'll test your grip strength. Okay, I'm gonna dump my juice in there. Okay, and I'm just gonna put this on just a low speed until it mixes up, kind of gets all incorporated. Once everything's kind of incorporated, then I'm gonna add my buttermilk. So I'm just let this go for a second. So it looks like it's pretty well incorporated, so I'm just gonna pour my buttermilk in there. It doesn't make a very thick mixture. I mean, you can see that is not that's not thick at all. So hopefully that's correct. That's what it called for. So you pour this in your pie crust. And I'm going to put this on a baking sheet just in case it overflows a little bit. But it goes in the oven for 1 hour or until firm. I just literally took this out of the oven. You can still hear it bubbling. It was in 1 hour and 10 minutes because I checked it at 1 hour and it was still very jiggly. And to be honest with you, I'm going to show you. It's still a little jiggly. So we're going to see. I left it in an extra 10 minutes. So it was 1 hour and 10 minutes total. We'll see what it looks like. It's probably going to fall a little bit. It's going to get a dip in the middle, but it's already starting to fall a little bit. But anyway, we're going to let it cool off completely and then we'll cut it and we'll try it out. Pie's done.
The pie's ready, and I did, okay. I did take some pictures for the end of the video. It looks beautiful.
Yeah,
and it came out of the pan easily.
No soggy bottom?
I don't know. I didn't check for soggy bottom.
No, feels pretty. No soggy. Good bottom. It's got oil. It's a little oily.
That's really good. That's not like
That's not what I consider a sweet pie.
It reminds me, it's not as sweet, but if you've ever had like a transparent pie,
Yeah.
that's what they're called around here. I don't think this is quite as sweet as a transparent pie, but it's very good.
It reminds me of a cornbread kind of thing, like a cornmeal-y. I don't know. It's good. I think it needs to be set up a little bit more in the middle.
I think it's delicious, and I love your crust. Your pie crust is delicious. And we've used that, like he said, he's made 2 Bakewell tarts using that same recipe.
And
he's
using the almond flour.
It's absolutely, no, we didn't, we used the almond flour in the Bakewell tart. Not in the crust. Not in the crust, yeah. So that is absolutely delicious. I like it. It wasn't hard to make at all.
No.
So thank you very, very much for sending it to me. I'm sorry it took us a while to make it. We just have so many reviews to do, you know that. But I appreciate it, and I love Kaki's buttermilk pie. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.